Hello, we made it. Happy Friday. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining me from in the world. Thanks for coming to hang out this Friday. And what a happy Friday it is, guys. A Star Wars free week. It's possible. It's possible. And I have to say, oh, it was so nice to see DC getting a little bit of love, a little bit of early love before the Supergirl movie's even been released in cinema. So that was a surprise and a delight. Thank you, Howie Claus. It's very kind of you to do. Some new IPs. And we got some first look in person at a lot of these figures. Hot Toys making their first appearance at Hong Kong Comic Con. So thankfully, we have quite a few pictures from the event, some from Hot Toys. I've also got quite a few pictures that I've using from a Instagram account, Six Scale Kawu in Hong Kong. I do like his videos. He does some really nice, just small showcases. Sometimes you don't need a half-hour video about a figure. Sometimes, a few good quality minutes of footage is all you need, and that's good. So I've got some photos from both of those entities, so we'll be sharing those. But as I said, it was nice to see something a bit different from Hot Toys. I had to laugh because in one of the pictures I saw someone go, it's a bit disappointing from a Star Wars perspective, isn't it? And I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? You've had 2 months where everything has been Star Wars, and there's one event that is not something new for Star Wars, and some people are having mantrums. So it just makes me laugh because there's just no satisfying some collectors, is there? So we'll have a look at Hot Toys at Hong Kong Comic Con, which is a bit of a tongue twister to say that 10 times quickly. No, thank you. I'm not brave enough to try that. So let's see who's here to hang out with me on a Friday. I've already got quite a few people in the chat, which is amazing. Hit the like button if you're around. That would be appreciated. Maybe little Shuri will join us. She was in here before, but it's very cold, so maybe she's gone to bed. If she's smart, she's gone to bed. I would be jealous, but it would be the wise place to be. So we've got Anthony Stanfield. Hi, Helen. Hope you're well. I'm well. Thanks, Anthony. I hope you are too. Laura's here as well. Hello, Laura. AJ, happy birthday for the other day. I hope you had an amazing day. We have Spectre 1018. Happy Friday. I think that's a new name. Welcome to you. I've got Valkyrie Magnus. Hello to you. Tiny Art Guy. Hey, Helen, super excited about Supergirl. Me too. I did not think we were going to see Supergirl and Lobo so quickly. I think the movie comes out towards the end of June. I want to say like the 26th of June. So when we got those little teaser images early this week, I was like, oh, we're not going to see these figures for like a month. But at least it was confirmation that they were doing them. So it was a very nice surprise to get the full announcements. And yeah, I guess I've got some feelings about the way Hot Toys has done some stuff this week. So we'll have a chat about it. But guys, let me know if I'm coming through okay. Let me know. It's because we had the tech issues a few weeks ago, and I'm hoping they're behind me. So I'm just, if there's ever something not quite right, please do let me know in the chat, because I will try to remediate as much as I can, which is not much, but I'll still try. Laura says, it's never a Star Wars free week for me. Well, I mean, I guess it's not Star Wars free if you choose for it not to be, but in regards to the newsy news, it was not Star Warsy, and I was very appreciative of that, because we all know I was feeling very uninspired by Hot Toys last week, so I was not thinking things would turn around so quickly. I wouldn't have been shocked if this week had been another Star Wars heavy week, or even like a quiet week. So it was a nice surprise to get not just Supergirl, but Masters of the Universe. Those figures look so good. We've got the Broke Collector, Fabulous Force Free Friday. I don't know if I'm missing something with that, but hello to you. I have to get used to the fact you have a new Avatar, because I'm so used to your Iron Man cartoon. So I don't have that brand recognition yet, but I'll get there. I'll get there. We've got Ramstein fan. Good morning, Helen Shuri in chat. Please don't forget to hit the like button. I mean, I would appreciate it. I'd appreciate it greatly. We've got Ace. Happy Friday, Helen and everyone. Received a few figures, DX19 and Endgame Spider-Man non-artisan. Both very nice pickups. Very nice pickups. I got Harvey Dent last week, and then I'm hoping I get either George Clooney Batman or Strike Suit Cap next month. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I think this is Eric. Good morning, Helen and chat. Great day for coverage of Hong Kong Comic Con. I know, very lucky timing. Fridays is a good day to stream because I feel like a lot of news can drop towards the end of the week. So I feel like I'm pretty lucky at this time slot. Laura says, you never know. I never have an issue when fans of other IPs get some love. Yeah, I was just really shocked because I had all those graphs last week showing how Star Wars centric it could be, and I just couldn't believe that someone's first thought was, oh, there's nothing new for Star Wars people. I was like, really? The Star Wars. I also appreciate having a break from Star Wars in 60 seconds. I feel like my last few were not very inspired. We've got Gilbert. Hello to you. I hope we'll see new figures these 3 days at Hot Toys Fest Hong Kong Comic Con. Yeah, we'll talk about that. As I said, I've got a few thoughts, a few feelings, given we've had some time to reflect on what they've shown and day one of the con. As I said, it's been not what I expected. But am I disappointed? No, I'm not going to say I'm disappointed, but as I say, it's not how I would have thought the event would have gone. But we'll talk about it a little bit more. Raymond's here. Good afternoon, Helen. Good afternoon to you, Raymond. Kareem is here. Kareem watches mostly on the replay, but live, which is awesome. Hey, Helen, the new Punisher looks sick. Yeah, I'm keen. I'm so keen for the next few months to see what happens with the Punisher and how things evolve. And I'm going to use this as a moment to apologize to cousin Anthony, because apparently he's better at avoiding spoilers than me. And when I mentioned that Punisher was in the new Spider-Man movie, that was a spoiler. So cousin Anthony, I sincerely apologize that I spoiled that for you, even though you somehow managed to avoid it through the entire internet. I'm sorry that your cousin wrecked it for you. Raz 20 Tenable. New announcements is nice, but seeing actual releases is better. By Hot Toys today, I'm getting delivered my Arcane Vi, which is my 6th Hot Toy of 2026. There was releases this week. There was a few releases this week. I mean, at least you're getting like 6 things. I don't think I've gotten 6 things. I get things so delayed in Australia, so I'm just happy when they come. Tremble Dust is here. Salutations to all. Salutations to you. This is a new username, Ocular3. Happy Friday, everyone. Silent Lurker. I left a comment on your community page. Peace. Do I have a community page? But thank you for commenting, because it's always so interesting to see the views versus people who comment. And I'm like, why don't people comment? I don't know. Maybe they use my stream to fall asleep. Who knows? Who knows? Raymond, did you see anything of the Emperor's Rove / live stream with the host? No, I didn't. I didn't really want to talk about JazzInc today, I'll be honest. I didn't watch the stream because I'm pretty sure that when the stream happened, it was in the small hours of the morning for me. And then I, obviously I'm not waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. to watch a stream. And then I was at work today and I thought about it and I was like, I don't know that I want to do that, unwinding after a week at work. So I mean, honestly, I don't get excited about the render reveals, and I did have to chuckle. I saw a comment in the JazzInc group that said the Catwoman's now delayed till August, September. And I'm like, no kidding. Because when we were in April and you hadn't shown us a head sculpt, and as I said, by my maths of okay, last time I heard Yoast talk pre-order numbers, he talked about 5,000 orders. Like, some of those SKUs have 1 head sculpt, some have 3. The deluxe one has like 6. So I feel like a conservative estimate is 10,000 head sculpts. And then you've got hair rooting and all this, and I'm like, that's taking time. So that being delayed doesn't shock me. What I just still can't understand is why they don't just communicate that through their group or their YouTube channel. Like, oh, hi Shuri, bye Shuri. They expect us to just watch all these streams to get updates. Like, you have direct line of communication to your customers. I still don't understand why that's not a thing. But I didn't watch, and I'm just assuming it was a bunch of render reveals and AI generated images. So whether I watch it, whether I don't know. I didn't want to watch it today, and I don't know if I will, to be honest. I don't know. Even that post about the Catwoman this week annoyed me. So I wanted to have a happy week just talking about the hot toys. She's just running in and out like a mad woman. I do not know what's going on with my cat. Laura says, I do like seeing non-Star Wars figure announcements because I'm a fan of the artistry of 6 scale just in general. I always appreciate a good 6 scale regardless of IP. Look, I feel the same way. I can appreciate a lot of things even if they're not for me. I feel like there is a chunk of people that just get outraged. Madame, are you okay? What is going on? I don't know. I don't even know if you guys can hear her. If you can, I'm sorry, enjoy. She doesn't have much of a voice. Natalie Harris says, evening, Helen and Shuri. Hope you're well from a heat wave in the UK. A bit cooler. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. This little rascal. Shuri. See, she comes in. She rolls around. She meows. And she runs out. Shuri, what is it? People want to know what's wrong. Look at her. She's trouble. She's trouble. She's trouble, I tell you. You're lucky you're cute, kiddo. You're lucky you're cute, little Shuri. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, Akira. Nice to see you in the chat. We've got Kyle Goodwin as well. How you doing, Kyle? Laura saying hi to Shuri. Well, we got a little bit of a visual of her. What a treat. Maybe she's just burning off some energy before she goes to sleep. I don't know. Raymond says, most interesting update from Yoast was a painted Agent Smith head sculpt, which he felt looked amazing, but I felt looked nothing like Hugo Weaving. I know, Shuri, Yoast thinks everything he does is amazing. I wasn't really, yeah, that production Catwoman and the comment of, would you take either? No. But I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people in the JazzInc group defending it. Because remember when he showed that random prototype figure with no neck that didn't look good, and people were like, "Oh my god, it's like a screenshot of Michelle Pfeiffer from the movie." I cannot. Left under your unboxing poll. Oh, okay, fair enough. Cool. I'll check that out later. Raymond says, my wallet enjoyed the rest of the week, though, expecting nothing until Clooney Batman arrives somewhere in July. Yeah, I looked at the Pop Culture website today just to see if there was any updates on George or Strike Suit Cap, and they hadn't updated the date for Cap, but it's funny because George is now listed as June, and I was like, June? And then I was like, June is Monday. Can't believe it's almost June. So I'm hoping I'll have George soon, and then I will unbox him on the stream for everyone. What a treat. Shuri's getting a little bit of love. She is very cute. We can hear Shuri's claws skittering across the floor. She does. It's funny because it's how I can often hear her coming. If the house is quiet, I can hear her little claws because I've got like wooden floors. I just hear... It's very cute, but she's got her cat scratches in here, and I feel like she can get really loud shredding them. Shuri has big feelings about this too. She sure does. Look at her living her best life. My cat Xander is now looking around for another cat since he hears her. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, look, I like to think Shuri's living her best life, but she may also have grievances. I don't know. I wish she could speak. Oh, cousin, brother. This is our Supergirl. Hi, sister. Hi, brother. How are you? I guess you've been busy in the gym. I haven't seen you in the comments for a while, but I'm so glad you're here. JB's here. Hello, Helen and chat. Hello to you. King Dingaling is here. Hello. No Artisan Wick at the show. I'm predicting a delay to the end of 2026. Look, King Dingaling, that's probably not the only thing. I mean, does that surprise me? Not really. I think the thing that's probably surprising me a little bit, and we'll talk about the releases and the schedule a bit more towards the end of the stream, but like the Artisan Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad in the red and black jumpsuit, like that was meant to be out Q4 last year. And we're in that release window for like the Artisan Winter Soldier. So yeah, and it's funny because even when I went to Hong Kong last year, I went to all of the Hot Toy stores hoping I would see the Artisan Wick somewhere. The Artisan Wick, the Sculpted Wick, neither of them were there anywhere. And when I tried to ask Secret Base, they thought I was trying to pre-order, and I'm like, no, I can't pre-order, I don't live here. But yeah, I don't know. Natalie Harris says, I heard Shuri meow, so cute. You hear that? They think you're cute. Maybe one of them will adopt you if you're too naughty and I get sick of you. No, I'd never do that. Gilbert says, if So-So announced a new figure, I bet they released their figure before the Catwoman. Oh, them just fighting words. Who knows? As I said, the delay doesn't bother me because I want this to be good. The thing that's frustrating me is for a company that likes to tell us everything and get our input on everything, it takes, like, do a JND news style video. Like you could do at the start of the month, here's where we're at with things, here's the update. Or your Facebook group. As I say, you're posting all this other stuff where people are just like, can you just make the figure now, please? That's what I don't understand. They have all these communications channels. They're clearly online a lot. You shouldn't have to watch every random stream he appears on to find out what the update on the release is. I'll never understand why they don't do that. They're so big on community and feedback and communication and all this stuff, and then the most basic thing you could do, you don't do. Anyways, we're going to talk about Hot Toys, a company with figures that we can see and probably get sometime this year. What a treat. But before we talk about Hong Kong Comic Con, I want to do a quick thank you to all of my paid channel members. So the Broke Collector, AJ Agrusa, Pop Culture Living Room, Kevin LaFranc, Aaron Broverman, Tijuana Mike, Keith Lee, Valkyrie Magnus, Ms. Batwoman, Bob Dylan, Blue Tattoo, Winman42, Blurred Dad Life, Moose Dream, Tiny Art Guy, Anthony Stanfield, Cousin Anthony, Figure Posing Channel, Ramstein Fan, Hawk Benji, Batman Collectibles, Gojo, 2005, Big Rib, Star Child L7. My goodness, this list is so big. And guys, thank you so much for supporting my channel. Amazing. When I set up channel memberships, it felt like this awkward thing. And I was like, oh, is anybody even going to sign up? And I look at this list of names and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm dumbfounded. So thank you. Appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Raymond, I'm going to have to update the list. Raymond has become a 6-scale Shiro channel member. Raymond, thank you so much. That also deserves some applause. Thank you. Appreciate it. You can watch all my cute videos of Shuri, and I'm wanting to think of other incentives I can do for my channel members. So I'm going to do something, I promise. Glad JazzInc are fixing the window frame diorama now that they've realized a window frame isn't made from stone. Yeah, it's funny because, you know, the most accurate, the most up-to-date, the most. Are they going to update those horrible curtains? Because those curtains were pretty bad looking. They looked like, do you know what they looked like? I'm going to demonstrate. You know how you have like a bit of paper and you get scissors and you just snip? That's what those curtains look like. Those curtains look horrendous. And the name is JazzInc Dioramas. Oh, thank you, Raymond. Love the interaction here, so it's only fair to join. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Blurred Dad Life says, hi, Helen. I'm sitting here considering to sell my Star Trek collection to get more DC and a Tumblr. This is a tough decision. Oh, it is a tough decision. I did a video back in the day that I did not think got many views, which was about how to decide what to sell, because I have had that conundrum, and I talk about a few strategies in that. But one thing I sometimes do, and I don't know if it helps, so I'm just going to offer it anyway, is sometimes I take it out of the cabinet to see if I miss it. And often for me, it's been a simple but a really effective tactic, because sometimes I'll be on the fence about a figure. Do I want to keep it? Don't I want to keep it? And I find that if I take it out of the collection, that's obviously, it's a really good thing to tell. Because if I'm looking at my display and going, no, I kind of miss not seeing it, or it just doesn't even pop into my head that it's not there, that often gives me a good indication that it's time to move something on. No, the curtains were produced, he said, so no updates. Well, guys, enjoy your curtains from JazzInc. They're going to look a bit like this. Maybe I could work for JazzInc with tailoring and craftsmanship like that. I'm assuming JB's laughing at my scissoring of the paper, but you know, look, just picture it. It's just like that. It's what they look like. Wow, that's those curtains weren't even the right color. Wow. Maybe it's a good thing I did watch that stream. I feel like it just would have enraged me even more about this whole situation. Yeah, but no, I'm not talking JazzInc this week. We're going to talk about Hot Toys at Hong Kong Comic Con. The first time they've appeared at Hong Kong Comic Con. And I think, like a lot of people, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. And I was kind of anticipating this might be a little bit like Wonderfest, where some prototypes or some new figures have been kind of stashed away and then revealed for the first time at the convention. So I have to say, I was probably a little bit surprised that the Supergirl and the Masters of the Universe figures were formally announced during the week, because they did do quite a bit of talk around the fact that this is the first time they're appearing at Hong Kong Comic Con. So I really thought they'd be trying to make a big splash, have a whole bunch of new things, because I typically think of events like Wonderfest, particularly with like a company like InArt, they often try to have new things there. So I was kind of thinking that they were going to come to this event with a lot of stuff we hadn't seen before, and that wasn't really the case, which did surprise me quite a bit. So these pictures are from the Hot Toys Facebook page. They posted them this evening, which was very good. So we've got the booth there, and of course they had the walled-in figure and the final swingsuit Spider-Man. They had some copies available at the event, which people could get. And I think as well, the One Piece figure that was released this week as well, that was available. So we see a little bit of, I guess, the big display and what they were heroing. And again, this is where it kind of surprised me, because Death Stranding, we knew. The comic Batman, we knew. The Star Wars, we knew. The Punisher was the only thing that we hadn't seen before. Like, it was teased, but we'd seen no formal announcement. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't do the same with Supergirl and the Masters of the Universe figures. Like, have this big look at all these new recent IPs, figures ready on display here. I'm kind of surprised they didn't save a bit more to unveil at the convention, given it was their first time. Marvel Rivals, which is a new IP. I think that's a video game. I really don't know a lot about it. So that was something that was teased this week and also shown at the show. And then we also had this where we had the Supergirl, we had the Alien 40th anniversary. And what surprised me was, so we have the final swingsuit, which is revealed as a movie promo edition, but branded No Way Home. But then at the convention, it's Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm just like, this is just color me confused, because I had this big rant last week about it being odd that, it's a movie promo, but it's from the movie that was released literally 5 years ago. But then at the event, so I don't know if that was like a last minute decision to then, maybe this was meant to be a Brand New Day movie promo, and then for some reason, because I mean, let's be honest, what is it? It's the packaging you've got to change. Maybe there was some last minute reason they had to rebrand. I'm not sure. But again, I just found that a little bit of a head scratcher. And then Masters of the Universe, which I kind of want to see that movie now. I'm quite interested in it. I used to, I've got an older brother and he used to watch a lot of Masters of the Universe. I have seen the cartoon as a kid, and I mean, he had a lot of the action figures, and I remember He-Man and Skeletor and Battle Cat and the Castle Grayskull and all this stuff. So I kind of feel like maybe I want to watch the movie, but I was really excited to see this Masters of the Universe line, because I was like, this, again, what we were talking about last week, like we started the year, we had some new IPs, they showed the K-pop Demon Hunters. I know they're not for everyone, but it was something new, it was something interesting, it was something that wasn't Marvel, Star Wars, or DC. So I'm really happy to see these Masters of the Universe figures, and I think they look really great. There's some really cool features of those figures, which do kind of make me think that Hot Toys at their best can be so good. And I'm starting to wonder, even when I look at these Supergirl figures, I get the impression that InArt is going to do a Supergirl as well. They shared the trailer. I think Hot Toys is trying to get Supergirl out the door pretty quickly, the way they did with Superman, to try to get people who want it now. I feel like when there's competition, they really up their game. And when they don't always have that competition, sometimes they can get a little bit complacent, which is a shame. But let me catch up on the comments before we dive into the figures. We've got Paul is here. Hello, everybody. Hello to you, Paul. Moose Dream is here as well. Hello to you. Forget Jackson Ju, get your Shiro custom curtains. I mean, I'm going to start a website and you can buy this for yourself. I'll even give you like an autographed photo of Shuri with every order. For Hot Toys, this seems a little underwhelming. Fest, no Ripley. We'll talk about that. We've got Sterling's Fine Art. Good morning, Helen. Happy Friday to everyone. Happy Friday to you. AJ says, yeah, I was thinking this would have been a little more wowing too. Yeah, I see people agreeing. Tiny Arc, I hit the like. Please, everyone, takes less than a second and helps out. Helen, it does. I've got 47 people. I mean, I'm hoping I've got around 47 likes. That would be a treat. They showed Alien Warrior, but no Ripley. Yeah. There were some people that were disappointed, and I think there was some genuine disappointments. And then there were Star Wars fans. So yeah, I totally get it. Am I planning on getting the Masters of the Universe figures? I am not. I'm not collecting any new lines at the moment because my space is like completely maxed out. But I think they look amazing. But also welcome. This is a new name. Arashioda? I probably haven't said that right. I'm so sorry, but you got a cool profile picture. Oh, Anthony, Masters of the Universe bases look great. Really add to the display. Hot Toys is getting their money's worth out of the Batman Returns display base. I just had to chuckle because both He-Man and Skeletor. And I'm like, oh, that's why you made the Batman Returns base modular with the swap out parts, because now you're swapping out everything and everyone's going to come with that diorama. So I had a big old chuckle. I don't know if people follow me on Instagram, but I did do a story having a chuckle at the fact that Hot Toys is just going to reuse that base time and time again, which, yeah, made me chuckle. AJ says, I really do think the Masters of the Universe figures look great. I don't really have much of a connection to it, but they look fantastic. Yeah, it's been a really long time since I've seen Masters of the Universe. I remember seeing it as a kid, and I feel like this was a long time ago. I don't know. I feel like there was a movie at the cinemas, like maybe an animated one a long time ago. Was there something on Netflix, like a series or something, that I feel like had mixed reviews? I feel kind of tempted to go see this at the cinema. I think it comes out next week, so maybe I'll go check it out. But again, even if I like the movie, I can appreciate the figures, but not need them in my collection. So let's have a looky look. So Hot Toys, sadly, it was a lot of stuff that we'd previously seen. So I'm starting off with the 3 figures that had some release this week. So we've got the Spider-Man. Is it Brand New Day? Is it Far From Home? Who knows? It's a movie promo edition. That figure, there was 400 units available at the con, as well as 400 units of the walled-in figure. As I said last week, I think that's a really cool figure. I like the seamless forearms. It's got some cool accessories. It's superposable. And then we got Chopper from One Piece. And I do... it's interesting to see how many 1-to-1 scale things Hot Toys has made this year. It's not typical. And I think prior to Baby Yoda, have they really done a lot of 1-to-1 scale? Because we've had, 3 Grogus. We've got the man boobs thingy people. We've got Stitch. We've got One Piece. Chopper. It's interesting. I mean, and this is where I know they'll never tell us, but I'd love to know why. Like, is this a different market? Are they popular? Do they sell well? Are they cheaper to produce? I don't really know. But it's interesting that I feel like I can't remember Hot Toys doing this many 1-to-1 scale things in the past. But anyway, Chopper is out for those interested. And then... yeah, as I say, a whole bunch of stuff we've seen before. We've got the comic Batman. We've got the Death Stranding figures. And I feel like they were announced a long time ago. And even then, like, there's artisan versions of these figures, but they just had the sculpted one at the con. So they didn't even have the, what you'd argue should be the best version in the artisan figure. They didn't have that. They brought the sculpted one and just this guy. Because if I'm remembering correctly, there's 2 or 3 figures in that Death Stranding line, but they just brought one. Like, it just seems a bit odd to me. And then we've got the black suit Daredevil, something that was announced a month or 2 ago. So probably not something we've seen an awful lot of, but I definitely feel like those Death Stranding figures have been on a bit of a global tour. They're a bit old. There's nothing, I don't think, all that new about them. I don't know. Here we go. He-Man movie with Dolph Lundgren in 87. That must be it. I'm probably confusing it with the Transformers movie, which was animated. I was very young at the time. I was very young when those movies came out. Tiny Art Guy says, I started watching One Piece and freaked out when I saw there are over 1,000 episodes. I think, isn't there like 2 versions of it? Isn't there like an old anime and then there's like a more recent Netflix, or am I totally wrong with that? Because I felt like I had heard there's the back catalogue, but then I thought there was other Netflixy stuff, which is where the Hot Toys figures are coming from. I could also be completely wrong, because have I seen it? No, of course not. I don't watch things. They also did a 1-to-1 Tony Stark arc reactor too. Yeah, and I guess for me, I'd understand the 1-to-1 props a little bit more, because I feel like something like the arc reactor is probably a little bit more complementary of an accessory to an Iron Man display. You might have a Hall of Armor, a quarter scale, Tony with the workbench. So having the arc reactor is kind of a bit more of a complementary piece to having, I've got all these 6 scale figures and then here's fuzzy moose one-to-one dude, Chopper. I keep forgetting his name. Oh, Norman Reedus is in Hong Kong Comic Con this week. Well, maybe that's why they have the figure on display. But again, why wouldn't you have the rooted one? I would have thought that would be the better version to have. Oh, I'm right. Amazing. No, you're right at anime and live action One Piece. Okay, I was pretty sure I had heard there was multiple versions going. Spectre says the same thing. Anime's been going on for years and is still going. Oh, okay. Didn't realize the anime was still going. Netflix have begun their own live action version of the show. I'd say I'd watch it, but I'd just be lying. Time is not my friend. Yes. You need to take a month off to complete it. Oh, goodness. If I had a month off, I would not sit down watching television. I'd want to travel somewhere. But thank you. Sometimes it's good to know that the things I think in my head are actually the truth. So again, this is a bit more of, we've seen it. It's not all that new. As I said, at least Daredevil is not that old. I feel like the comic Batman, I'm trying to remember, was that early this year or late last year? I don't know. But Death Stranding was definitely a long time ago, I feel. And I think this was, I always want to say Grievance. Frickin' Star Wars getting in my head. A grievance for a lot of people. We have the teaser, Aliens, 40th anniversary, the Reeboks. Again, this would have been such a perfect stage to give us a bit more. Show us the Ripley that everybody wants to see. But we got these alien figures, which if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure they also had these out on display at Wonderfest last year. So I think that was around the time that they were announced. So these, when was Wonderfest? I feel like that was October, November. So these are at least 6 months old as well. So this is where I can understand. You can see in the background, we see 40th anniversary logos and all that. And then we're seeing stuff that we've previously seen. So I completely understand, because the Aliens tease happened way before the Punisher tease. Definitely, a bigger gap between what we saw for the Masters of the Universe and the Supergirl teasers to reveals. So I get it. I can totally understand why people are a little bit disappointed. And as I said at the start of this segment, I really thought this would be Hot Toys making a splash, showing us a bunch of things that we hadn't had announced. Here you go. We gave you the teaser of the Reeboks. Here's a beautiful Artisan Ripley. Maybe she's got a power loader. Maybe there's a sculpted version as well. But no, we got a couple of the alien figures that we've previously seen a while ago. So yeah, as I said, for this one, I can totally understand the disappointment from Aliens fans going, come on, like, you're giving us 2.0s of other characters. Do you call these characters? Where's the Ripley? That's the thing that people want to see. And I can totally understand that. Thank you, Tremble Dust. Earlier this year. So that must have been before the 2-month drought of no DC. So thank you for that. Tiny Art Guy says, still find it hard to believe Hot Toys have not made advances on the design of their waist and crotch grabbers. Oh, we'll talk about the grabbers when it comes to Supergirl. I'm not happy with that choice of stance there. But yeah, it's true. And this is what gets me, because even like InArt's now gone to crotch grabbers, right? And they look like really aggressive, like, hooks, that when I look at a figure like Wonder Woman, which has the silicone legs, I just worry they're going to scratch them. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. There's got to be some other options. And I mean, we've seen some magnetic bases from Hot Toys, and I do like the way they've done their magnetic bases where, not with the Black Widow, but with Cap, for example, you've got the optional grabber that you can clip into the back if you so desire. I think that's a nice way to do it. But you're right. They do these really impressive looking aliens figures that look amazing. Like that Scorched Xenomorph looks so good. And yeah, it's true. And because some of these figures, they can be quite top heavy. You want to use the stand because you don't want it to fall and damage. And yeah, having the big crotch grabber there definitely takes away from it. And even at times, I wonder, like, is there not a clear acrylic option you could use so it at least is transparent? It's not just the big black thing that we always see. And it's interesting because sometimes they do it and sometimes they don't. Like with the DX33 Heath Ledger Joker, like the little street diorama you get, like the pole for that stand is clear acrylic. It can be done. I have the X-Men 97 theme song in my head. Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. JB says beautiful aliens figures, but can we please get a Power Loader Ripley this year? I mean, I would have thought this would have been a great time to drop it. We had the teaser. We've got these figures that were announced last year. Give people the Ripley to go with them. Apparently, that's not how Howie Claus works. Trembledust says there is a Wonderfest running concurrently with Hong Kong Comic Con. I get confused with the Wonderfest as it seems they have one for every season. And I think they're in different locations. So the one that seems to pop into my mind that seems to get InArt and then Hot Toys, and we see quite a few new things from, is the one that happens around October, November time. And I don't know if that's like Shanghai, but I do think they're in different areas, the different Wonderfests that they do. She-Girl, look, it is almost 11 o'clock. It is the end of the week. I'm tired. I often say things incorrectly on this stream. And I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. It's funny. I have coffee when I come home from work on a Friday to try to, but it's still a lot. Trembledust, you're confusing me now as well. I didn't think there was a Wonderfest on right now. I thought it was just Hong Kong Comic Con. I think there was some con in the US. Maybe? Tijuana Mike is here. Hello, collectors. Hello to you. Nice to see you. Figure Fan for Life is here as well. I wanted Ripley 2.0 to join my Scorched Xeno. Happy Friday. As I said, I think this is one of the grievances. But I'm like, yes, I will allow it. Absolutely. People have, I feel like it's been, ever since they started revisiting some of this alien line, I feel like a lot of people have been like, Ripley is what we want. And I'm really surprised we've gotten this far down the line and we haven't gotten it. Like last year felt like they were revisiting quite a few of those older classic IPs, and I feel like I just would have thought it was a bit inevitable. So yeah, as I said, I was really surprised that when I started seeing the videos drop from the con, that the only new, not announced, not revealed figure was the Punisher. I wonder, can we talk about that Punisher special yet? Has enough time passed, or is Cousin Anthony going to complain that I spoiled it for him? Collection Obsession is here. Hi, Helen. Sorry I'm late. I slept in. You never have to apologize. Sleep is very important. I love sleep. People saying hello. So yeah, as I said, Aliens fans, I totally get it, and I'm on your side. I hope you guys get that Ripley really soon. And as I said in previous streams, I would love if Ripley got the Jack Sparrow treatment. So what I mean by that, a sculpted with Power Loader, and then an artisan with Power Loader. I would love that for you guys. So I've got my fingers and toes crossed for you. And yes, I will watch Alien one day. I actually really want to watch that movie. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. I don't promise, but I'll try. Yes, Punisher time. Not yet, but we'll get to Punisher. Don't worry, we'll get to the Punisher. Do it at Discuss Punisher, you snooze, you lose. Okay, when we get to the Punisher, we'll talk a bit about the special because I do like getting other people's views on things. I do like hearing what other people think. But this was a surprise. Masters of the Universe. And Hot Toys has really made some effort with these figures. I know they've recycled the bases. I totally know that. Recycling one, fine. Recycling it for both, is that a bit cheeky? Maybe. I did think it was a bit funny if really, like, you've given them the exact core base. Does that make them a matching pair? Like, more, less? I don't know. But I do like that they're matched because, you know what would have been crappy? If one had a really nice diorama base and one had something very understated. So these figures, there is a lot to like about these figures. I think they look really great. I didn't realize Jared Leto is playing Skeletor. Interesting. So yeah, here we go. No, there was no shot of them together, and I think it probably would have been hard to get a shot of them together given the way they are posed. So these are photos from Hot Toys, and then these are some of the photos from 6-Scale Kawu. I've got his Instagram handle on the screen, but I've also got a link to his profile down in the description. As I said, he's in Hong Kong, is one of those collectors that when things are announced, goes out to Secret Base, takes photos, takes videos, has some really great coverage of Hot Toys. He's one of the Hong Kong content creators that I really enjoy following. So he's given us quite a few photos and videos of the figure. So I thought I would try to show some different angles of the figure. So we can see in here, not a fully seamless silicone body, but a largely seamless silicone body. And this reminds me a little bit of Weapon X, because in my mind, I think this is quite smart. Like, a fully seamless body means that there can be stress on the body. If it's posed, it can split. But the way they're doing it, where they're concealing joints under the clothing, so for all intents and purposes, it looks seamless. I'm happy to see it. We saw that with Weapon X. We're seeing it with He-Man and Skeletor now. I hope we see more of it from Hot Toys in the future. So I did wonder at first, I was like, oh, could this be the same body as Bane? But I don't think so. I think maybe the musculature might be a little bit different. But I think it looks really nice. I think the outfit looks really detailed. We've got the nice diorama base. He's got his sword. It's got some of those light effects you can have around it. I think it looks really, really good. I was like so impressed with this. And this is the kind of thing we've been asking from Hot Toys. Be a bit more realistic, because I think of even is it Luffy from One Piece? And his outfit is like a vest and shorts, and you've got so many visible joints. So I'm so glad that, you know, we're a year later and it seems like a little bit more effort is being made with some of these characters that don't have a lot of clothing to the outfit. We're getting some seamless treatment. I mean, I'm hoping it will be able to stand up to the posing. That's always going to be the litmus test of these figures. And unfortunately, we don't know until time has passed as to whether that silicone has been durable enough. But I hope it is. I hope it's good quality. I hope if you want to have him posed like this with his arm up and the sword, that you can do that. I really hope that is the case. Let me catch up on the comments. I really don't want the artisan to be locked with the loader because of space. As I said, I would love it to be a 3 SKU. But maybe they could do 4, because, like, sometimes the artisans have exclusives, because like the Black Widow, exclusive, not exclusive. Maybe you can have 4 Ripleys. Are you listening, Howie Claus? The people want 4. Wow, that would be amazing. 3 options for Ripley. I mean, this is me hypothesizing, because they gave 3 options for Jack Sparrow. And I think for a character like Ripley, and a character that I think people have been waiting a long time for, I hope they're going to be smart and give people the options. figure fan for life like Skeletor. I like Skeletor too. He-Man might be better with rooted hair. I mean, probably. I think at the same time, though, with new lines like this, maybe they're wanting to test the water first to see how well they sell. I don't know. Because I do think this would be a length of hair that you could do rooted. I just, yeah, I don't think we're at a point where everything's going to be rooted the way I think people come to expect it more from InArt. Tremble Dust says, my take, the Masters of the Universe are cool, but Mondo has nothing to worry about. Mondo's figures are typically with visible joints, though, are they not? That's how I view Mondo figures. I could well be wrong, but Laura says, I think people are happy that you can't tell that Jared Leto is playing Skeletor. Yeah, as I said, I didn't realize that at first. And then I feel like, because I saw these figures and I was like, oh, when is this movie coming out? And I was like, okay, wow, next week. And then I saw someone make the comment. I was like, really? Jared Leto? Like, I've even seen trailers for it on TV. I was just like, really? That's Jared Leto? Okay. Is that the old Batman base? This pair of Ace, lovely to see something new. Yeah, that's not even old. That's the Batman Returns base, which came out in Hong Kong in November last year. So you remember with the Batman Returns figure, the front ornamental piece was swap out. You could have, I know it's not a gargoyle. People told me what it was called. I'm sorry, I've forgotten. You have the gargoyle or the Shrek cat face. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's swap out. This is why it's swap out. So we can then use it forever and a day for all the other IPs. I think someone said to me that they think the Doctor Doom base is the same as well, but I can't really remember that off the top of my head. But yeah, as soon as I saw the promo pictures, I was like, oh, that's the Batman Returns base. That did kind of crack me up. But as I said, guys, I think He-Man looks really, really good. Thank you for the 6-scale Kawi for the photos. And I thought I'd just put up the Hot Toy summary of the figure because to see exactly what we're getting. So we've got the head sculpt as we expect now. It's got the separate rolling eyeballs. You've got seamless silicone upper body, arms, and legs. We've got the sword. We've got the energy effects. We've got the outfit. We've got the base and a whole bunch of swap out hands. And yeah, you can definitely see from on the right here, the back of that diorama, it is without doubt that same base as Batman Returns, which does make me chuckle. Collection Obsession says, He-Man body gives me hope for a great Dutch from the original Predator. I do not know who that is. I'm sorry. Sterling's Fine Art says, Supergirl could definitely use rooted hair because of the length. Yeah, I think we're going to get the rooted hair option from InArt. They shared the trailer at a pretty similar time to what Hot Toys did, and I don't know why you would do that if you weren't planning to release it. So this is where we'll talk about it a bit more, but I have some views on that. But I definitely feel like we're going to get a rooted hair option from InArt, is my feeling. So I'm interested to see, because InArt's been very quiet. We had a bit of a high frequency of announcements a couple months ago, and then they've gone really quiet. So, we know Warner Brothers will give those licenses to, oh my God, do you guys think my curtains are enough to get a license from Warner Brothers? Because they'll license anyone. I mean, if I show them this kind of craftsmanship, maybe I can get a license through Warner Brothers as well. What a treat. I'll get Shuri in as my legal representative. Maybe I can get a license too. Oh, thanks, Tremble Dust. You're 2 for 2 at Mondo joints. However, they are very popular with normally loads of accessories and based on more so the animated comic versions. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen some of their Batman the Animated Series stuff, and I do wonder at times if it's a different kind of collector that collects those figures. I mean, I know there's people like Costa, and he has Mondo and Hot Toys and InArt and whatnot, but I do feel like a lot of 6-scale collectors, particularly ones I'm talking to, seem to be really pushing for the realism and not wanting visible joints and wanting the rooted hair and whatnot. So yeah, I think being a live action movie, I think if this was like the Luffy and had all these joints, I could just imagine the outrage, Tiny Art Guy says that is cool swap out base. And they used it for Skeletor too. Laura says, I have a Mondo Nightcrawler. It's not trying to be realistic, so yeah, visible joints, but it looks like just like the cartoon. That is cool. You joke, but they might give you a license. Oh, I reckon I could get a license. Everyone can get a license from Warner Brothers. Everyone. And here's some pictures of the Skeletor. And seriously, the picture of that sculpt, I was like, that is kind of creepy looking, which I think you want from a Skeletor figure. So I thought it looked really cool. I did think it's a bit of a bummer that the light up features, I'm pretty sure, are with battery, which is a bummer. I think, in 2026, we want to see things being more LED light up. We don't want the USB. We don't want batteries. And I'm totally with everyone on that. But again, we look at the body, which is, seamless appearance, but does have some joints under the outfit. And the detail of it looks really cool, like the way it's painted. We can see, it's not just a solid skin color. There is layers of color. We've got bits of blue. We've got the sort of bits of, I guess, the black shading, sort of white looks like scratches. Like, it's really impressive. It's got its own diorama base, the same Batman Returns one, but it's got the sort of snake head to it. He's got his, I don't know all the proper names for the weapons. I'm so sorry. He's got his staff with is it a ram's head? I don't know. He comes with the crown, some swap out hands. But it looks really good. Like, these two together, I think, would be such an impressive display. And I mean, this is where, again, I say Hot Toys at their best, and a lot of people like to say, Hot Toys is phoning it in, they're not even trying, they don't care. I think when they're at their best, they're still very good. And I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit more understanding in that the volume that they're doing, they can't be doing custom bodies and rooted everything. Like, I get to get like 80 to 100 figures out the door. Not everything's going to be the high-end masterpiece. And I think for a lot of us, I know for me, I want the variety. I want the volume of characters. So maybe I'm a little bit more forgiving than some other people are about minor, particularly inaccuracies. Like I've always said, I'm never studying exact outfits. Like, I could never look at this Skeletor and go, well, it's good, but that's not the right shade of purple for his cloak. Like, I wouldn't know. I'd go, it looks cool. Do I know who it is? Absolutely. I'm happy with it. Don't joke, Natalie. Get your orders in for Helen's Curtains. I'm going to open up commissions. People who didn't get the deluxe 2-pack from JazzInc, don't worry. I'll build you a diorama. I'll build you a diorama with curtains that are just as good. Just as good as JazzInc. Look at that. Look at that. And with my cost-effective materials, I can probably give you multiple curtains for the price. What a treat, what a treat. Moose wants remote power like Tesla developed no wires. That sounds expensive, but I mean, maybe for the 10.0 version. Figure Fan for Life says, wonder what the price point will be. The body will be pricey. I mean, that will be interesting to see. But then with Weapon X, I don't feel like Weapon X was that pricey. Let me see if I can quickly. I mean, I'm going to look at pop culture because I talk in dollary doos. I'm in Australia. How much is Weapon X? And got to be mindful, pop culture has a markup on the Sideshow markup. Oh, wow, that's only 450 Australian dollars. And you guys are like, what is 450 Australian dollars, Helen? About 320 US. So 450 Australian dollars is like I consider that cheap. Anything under $500 I consider cheap from Hot Toys nowadays, which is kind of sad as well. Sterling's Fine Art says Skeletor looks great. I 100% agree. Just don't ask to get a Nurse Joker license. I always point to the fact that we've been given conflicted info from InArt and JND, and I don't know who to believe. But in Topo, I trust. Topo, if you're listening, you said you're working on a Nurse Joker, and I would hope that that's true. Weapon X was 404 Canadian dollars. Yeah, Pop Culture does a 10% pre-order discount. So with the pre-order discount, it's 405, but the recommended retail price is 450. So yeah, that's, as I say, as far as Australian pricing goes, that's not bad. Trembwater says the Tesla Tech Moose mention has been around for a decade plus. They could do it, maybe too above their heads, no shade for them to do it at this time. I mean, I do not know. I feel like electronic cars are only really taking off in the last couple of years here in Australia, so I do not know a lot about them. Figure Fan for Life PO'd Weapon X. That's cool. It looks really amazing. So this is our Skeletor. As I said, I think it looks really great. Photos courtesy of 6-Scale Kawu. And here's what we're getting from the Skeletor figure. So as I mentioned, LED light-up function, not USB, sadly. We've got the seamless silicone upper body, arms and legs. It's got a UV luminous effect on his staff. I kind of don't get overly excited about that. I mean, we're sitting there with our little black lights. I don't know. It's not something I ever use. I don't even know if any of my figures have it, but if they do, I don't use it. We've got some close-ups of the outfit, which looks really cool. He's got his crown, got the diorama display base, as I mentioned, with the serpent head, and he's got an array of hands. So yeah, Skeletor looking good. And I thought I'd pop this picture in there because, as I say, the way they were displayed at the con, a little bit tricky to get a picture of them together. But I did like that their promo images did have them together. And I think they look really cool. These look great. So Hot Toys, I hope this trend continues with the silicone. Seamless look. Not seamless, but seamless look. And that's okay. You hide those joints. I've got no problem with joints that are not visible. But I think this is cool. So yeah, amazing. Amazing. Who knew they were hiding this when we were going through Star Wars Palooza? Who knew? Tremble Dust says, I paid off Weapon X. I'm very thirsty for 6-Scale X-Men figures. No offense, Mondo. Yeah, look, Tremble Dust, I have to say that's probably a line that has surprised me over the years, hasn't gotten much love in an official sense from Hot Toys. Like, they've just given us a bunch of Wolverine figures, and every time I think of live action X-Men figures, it is always third party. I don't know if that will change with future MCU, but again, if they wanted to do, like particularly last year when there wasn't a lot of Marvel and DC movies, don't tell me if you hadn't thrown back to X-Men and done a Hugh Jackman Wolverine, a Halle Berry Storm, Patrick Stewart, Professor X. Like, don't tell me you couldn't have done that as a bit of a retro line. Come on. There's so much in the back catalogue that still has a lot of love for people that, yeah, they could have announced some stuff that I think really would have ticked nostalgia boxes, been super cool. We know how he works in mysterious ways. Tesla had developed wireless energy transition by 1904. I'm going to have to take your word for it because I know nothing about it. Masters of the Universe, what a treat. Supergirl and Lobo, my goodness. As I said, I saw the teasers at the start of the week. I thought, okay, good that they're putting it out there, that they're doing Supergirl and Lobo. Didn't think we would get the formal figure announcements so soon because we are, as I say, I think it's the 26th of June is when this movie comes out. And this is not really typical of Hot Toys. Like, we've seen it, and I thought it was just for the Mandalorian movie, because Lord knows they announced about 10 different things before the Mando movie came out. And I thought, okay, that must be a Star Wars thing, whatever. So to get 2 DC figures from a movie announced before it's come out, that makes me very happy. It makes me very happy. Lobo played by Jason Momoa, Supergirl by Millie Alcock. These photos are from Hot Toys, so they only really gave us the close-up of Lobo. But again, there's lots to like about these figures. In particular, some genuine leather, thank you very much. So Supergirl's boots, Lobo's vest, genuine leather. And this is, again, where I wonder, I feel confident InArt has this license as well. They know InArt is going to make at least a Supergirl. I don't know if they're going to do a Lobo, because they typically don't do companion pieces, lol. Is this something deliberate where they know there's the competition, so they're going to up their game? Because again, with Lobo, we're seeing a lot of seamless features. And what I thought was interesting was I did ask 6-Scale Kawu about his thoughts on the Supergirl figure in person, because I am mindful that lighting and conventions can be a bit tricky. And I said to him, would love to know your thoughts on the Supergirl in person. This was on Instagram. And this is what he said. And I thought it was an interesting comment. The face is not as good as other prototypes as usual. The details, paint app, etc. It feels strange to me. The paint app looks more like a final product than a prototype. And people say she will be released in Q3 2026. Maybe this really is a final product. So I do wonder, are they going to do what they did with Superman? Because if you remember, the figure came out not that long after the movie. I remember I went to Hong Kong in November. I think the movie had come out in July, and that figure had been out for a while. So is this something that they are going to rush out the door very quickly, knowing InArt's going to do a version? I do expect InArt would be doing a version with rooted hair. There are people who, you know, they want it and they want it now. So I am interested to see what the timing will be, because if you think of something like Captain America Brave New World, they got that Cap figure out the door pretty quickly, but then we only got the Red Hulk a few weeks ago. So maybe they will try to get Supergirl out the door really quickly, and then Lobo follows later on. It will be interesting. Let me catch up on the comments. X-Men 97 Season 2 is going to be out, and Hono could have done the animated characters. Well, I don't think Hono is a thing anymore, so I wouldn't hold my breath for that. Figure Fan for Life says, if they did Professor X, I could put him next to my, oh my god, am I going to say this wrong? Locatus? Would be a cool pairing. Look forward to this summer's films. Trembledust says, a few 1/6 collectors are also X-Men fans. They were baffled why Hot Toys never tried to cash in harder. I could only think X-Men isn't as popular in Hong Kong. I mean, I think that is always a factor, like the popularity in Hong Kong and China. I think that's part of the reason why they go to that Dark Knight well so much. But as I said, I would have thought though last year, given there was so few movies coming out and they are connected to Sideshow, like surely Sideshow is in their ear at time telling them or giving them suggestions about things to make. I have to think that would have pretty big appeal in the US. I know it definitely did in Australia. I don't know. Trembledust says, Supergirl looks good, but I shall wait for InArt. I'm guessing that's dig. The coat and shades look. I dig it too. Artisan on Supergirl and Lobo will help with head articulation. Well, and this is what would be interesting, because if InArt was smart, they should make Lobo to give people a true alternative. But I'm not convinced that they will do Lobo, because as I've said, I think of other movies they've done, Superman was just Superman. The Pattinson Batman was just the Batman. They don't typically do, for the movie releases, multiple characters so far. I think a smart move for them would be to do Lobo rooted as well. think Jason Momoa has a lot of fans. We'll see. As I said, Supergirl, I'm expecting Lobo. It will be interesting to see if they do that. But yeah, it would be interesting if they did, to give people that true alternative. Like, if you want sculpted, you got Hot Toys. If you want rooted, InArt's got your back. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Tremblewater says, I like the Millie Soups, but my Sasha, I never know how to say it. Is it Kaye? Supergirl is not moving from the collection. Look, that Supergirl looks cool as well. Like, I debated picking that up. It's a bit of a different look. It's a cool look as well. Like, I liked her as the character. Moose Dream says, Helen, was Hong Kong hot in November? No, it was pretty pleasant. It was during the day. I'm sorry, I speak Celsius. So in the daytime, I want to say I've been there twice in November. The daytime was like low to mid 20 degrees Celsius, and not humid, which was great because Hong Kong can get very humid. In the evenings, it would get a bit more humid, but I found it quite pleasant both times I was there. Was really good weather. So yeah, for me personally, I think it's a pretty nice time of the year to go. And I think they are out of the typhoon season, because I remember the first time I went in November 2024, there was a typhoon warning, and I remember it got up to level 3, which is like still a pretty low level. And it was when I was flying out, and I just looked at how black the sky was, and I was so convinced my plane was not leaving that I would hate to be there when an actual typhoon hits. Like, I remember there was some footage shared last year, and it was a lot. So I feel like November has been, based on my 2 experiences, a pretty good time of the year to go. Like, I feel pretty comfortable walking around in like jeans and a t-shirt. Yeah. So as I say, because they're going into winter in November. But as I say, I feel like it's a bit of a sweet spot where it's not too hot, it's not very humid, and hopefully the typhoons are gone. Locatus is a Star Trek character played by the same actor who played Professor X, Patrick Stewart. Okay, I did not know that was his Star Trek character name. There you go, because I don't watch the sci-fi guys. Let's talk a bit more about Supergirl. But Lobo first. Supergirl movie, Lobo. So again, 6-scale Kawu, thank you for the images. We've got some close-up looks at our Lobo. Again, we've got the visible parts of the body are seamless. And we can see on the arms, we've got a little bit of I'm guessing it's like tattoo. I don't know a lot about the Lobo character, so I am quite interested to find out more about him. I remember Lobo was teased as a character for the Arrowverse, and then it never eventuated. So I don't know a lot about him, but I know there's been quite a bit of hype and desire by some people to have Jason Momoa play this character. So I am keen to see how it goes. But I mean, you know, we've got the silicone arms. They're seamless. We've got the sort of tattoo designs on them, which is great. The head sculpt, really expressive, looks nice. Totally agree with the comment earlier. You are probably not going to be able to move his head. So I think, you know, rooted hair would be nice. But I can understand if Hot Toys still has a bit of a hesitation around DC movies and how popular will they be? What will the reception be? Because you remember they cancelled that young Barry Allen. They cancelled that. I think some of those, the Flash figures, I think the Supergirl figure is probably the one figure that's really sold out and is hard to find. I think a lot of the other figures are pretty easy to still get today. So I can understand from some point of view if there's a little bit of hesitation in how far they invest with this. But I think the fact that they've done a real leather vest for Lobo and the silicone arms, I think is a really, really good sign. Like, they weren't doing seamless silicone anything for Gore. So the fact they're doing this for the Jason Momoa Lobo, I think is really cool. The outfit looks pretty interesting. I love his logo on the base. I will say I do wish that the bases for Supergirl and Lobo were a bit more interesting. That said, you know, we obviously haven't seen the movie, so I think it's very easy, particularly with the Supergirl figure, to think of the amazing diorama that came with the David Corenswet Superman and go, hey, he got all this stuff. What about her? We don't know what the visuals are in the movie. So, yeah, I mean, at least their bases match as far as the physical design of the, I guess, the base of the stand, and then both having their sort of cardboard diorama backdrops, if that's what you call them. So Lobo, what a treat. What a surprise to get him so soon. And this is what we are getting with Lobo. So obviously the sculpt with the rolling eyes. That's what we come to expect. Genuine leather vest. We love to see a bit of genuine leather. Thank you, Howie Claus. We've got detailed muscle definition, and we've got seamless, which is a treat. We've got wired sleeveless coat. We like the wires. We've got the backdrop base there. They're showing us some of the details in the figure. He's got some weapons. It looks like some, is it brass knuckles? Is that what you call them? And some swap-out hands. But, I mean, you look at it like the figure looks very, very big, very physically imposing. You know, Jason Momoa, he's a big dude. I know with other figures like Daredevil, people have complained about the way the figure physically looks. I think the physique of Lobo looks pretty good, so I hope people are interested in it. Supergirl, Supergirl, Supergirl. I've been so hyped for this movie ever since they cast Millie Alcock. She was, of course, young Rhaenyra Targaryen in Game of Thrones. Was I upset when they aged her up and Millie Alcock was no longer Rhaenyra Targaryen? Yes, I was, because I was enjoying her as Rhaenyra Targaryen. And I'm sorry, I do not like the older actress that plays Rhaenyra Targaryen half as much as I liked Millie Alcock. So when she was cast as Supergirl, I was really excited. I think, you know, brings probably a little bit more of a traditional look to Supergirl. And I'm really, really quite excited by this figure. I will just say, you know what? Like, some people and their criticisms of the way the actress looks, it's just really not necessary. Like, it's really, I don't see the point in getting involved in arguments on the internet. But you know what? There's been some men, some, not all, some men who really have not done their reputations much in my eyes with some of the comments and some of the imagery and some of the stuff they've been saying. And quite honestly, times like this help me curate my Facebook feed. Because when I see those posts, I'm like, hi, Facebook, hide all, please. Hide all from this person. Because I have nothing of interest. They have nothing of interest from me. Show me your photos. Are you supermodel? No, you're not. So maybe let's not criticize the way other people look, yeah? I think this looks really good. Would I have liked rooted hair? I don't know. I'm still not 100% convert on the rooted hair. I know it can be amazing. I know it can be not amazing. Is Hot Toys still trying to get that right? I feel like they are. So I'm very excited to see this. I'm interested to see what InArt will offer, because I want to order what I think is the better one. I don't need the first one. I don't need it at the quickest. I don't need the rooted. I want to be able to put them side by side and compare and then make my choice as to which Supergirl I want. I was so happy when I saw these boots were genuine leather. That makes me very, very happy. I think the outfit for me, I think it looks nice. We've got a wired cape. The sculpted hair, I'll be honest, and maybe people are going to think, as if. The first photo Hot Toys posted, I had to zoom in because I was like, is that rooted or sculpted hair? I think they got a lot of detail in this hair. And I think sometimes the blonde color of their hair is not quite right. I feel like they did a really good job with this hair. Is it going to limit articulation? 1,000%. But is it always going to look the same? Absolutely. And for me, that is a huge draw card. I don't do a lot with my own hair. I don't want to be sitting there putting product and brushing Supergirl's hair. So photos from 6 Scale Kawu. I really like it. For me, I think this backdrop, it's in line with sort of the movie promo stuff, but again, not having seen the movie, I don't know what else they could have given us, because there is a big part of me that really loved the diorama base that Superman got. He had that magnetic connection for the diorama base. So this having like the waist grabber, I don't really like that. Um, is that gonna indent on the suit and the fabric and cause an issue later on? Because I mean, I don't love when I have to put bits of foam around the grabbers to protect the figures, which I have had to do, with some figures like Captain Marvel and Endgame Wanda. Because it takes away from the beauty of the figure when you kind of have to protect it with that bit of sort of foam around the waist grabber. So I'm a little bit disappointed they couldn't do something better than this. And even if it was to give us a clear acrylic pole and fly and grabber, that could they have not given us something magnetic? Because I know you can try to pose the legs in a way to hide the stand, but again, if that was a clear acrylic stand, it just makes it that bit easier. So I am a bit like, okay, I wish it was more, but then I haven't seen the movie to know. So maybe after watching the movie, I'll feel a bit differently about it. But it is a bit of a bummer, because if you did go, hey, I want to pair my Supergirl with Superman and have them together rather than having her with Lobo, this is going to look pretty, I think, cheap and tacky compared to the beautiful diorama that came with Superman. So, as I said, overall though, I really like the way this figure looks. I'm really keen to see what the pricing will be on it. She does come with quite a few accessories. I'm pretty sure Crypto is the same as Superman. Am I shocked by that? Absolutely not. I figure they would just reuse the one they did last time, and as I say, we recycle parts. Comes with quite a few accessories, which is cool. She comes with her coat, which we do see her wearing in the trailer. I'm pretty sure that is wired, which is good. So the cape is wired and the coat is wired. We've got the slushie. We've got sunglasses. We've got her sort of space age Walkman type device. She's got some swap out hands. She comes with quite a bit. So you've got the two looks that you can have for her. There was part of me going, do I want both looks? Would I get two? I don't know. But I do like the fact that they're giving you those display options. Because for me, I feel like if I was going to use the cardboard backdrop, I feel like I'd be more inclined to use it with the coat, with that sunglasses look, because that's how I think of her in the trailer, which has, as I say, that kind of movie branding to it. So I think that look lends itself more to that backdrop than having her in the full Supergirl outfit, personally. What comes with our Supergirl and Crypto? So glad you asked. The rolling eyes, as we all know. So Crypto has a cape with wires. We've got the diorama backdrop. She's got the slushie. I'm guessing it's some kind of Walkman. Swap out hands. Genuine leather boots, which we love to see. A little device. Is it a compassy type thing? I don't know. Trench coat with bendable wire. Nice. I'm happy with this. I think if this was in my collection, I'd be pretty happy. As I said, I am interested to see what InArt does. I am interested to see if they give you a Lobo as well, because that would be interesting to have two figures to compare from a line. So I'm hoping this movie is good. I feel like I'd probably still get this even if it's not. I really like Millie Alcock. I feel like there's a real lack of DC Shiros in my collection, and I'd like to change that. So I feel like this is going to come home, one or the other, but I still would really like the movie to be good, please and thank you. Where am I up to? Trembledust says, would definitely like to have seen an artisan version of Lobo. Maybe they'll release one later with bike and dog, a cigar too. Hot Toys acting like they never did a figure who smokes the nerve. I mean, the walled in guy has a cigarette, doesn't he? He has one. I'm pretty sure he does. Oh, Tremble Dust, it wasn't just me. You weren't the only one at the age up in House of the Dragon. It took me a few episodes to get into the older version of the character on Hot D. It's really funny. At the start of the series, I liked Rhaenyra so much more than Alicent. And then when the actress swap happened, I felt really conflicted because I preferred the Alicent actress a lot more than the Rhaenyra actress. But then within the context of the story, I'm like, no, I'm still Team Rhaenyra. But I'm just not, I don't know, is her name? I want to say it's Emma Clark, and I'm worried that's not her name because I'm also might confuse her with a basketballer who's actually called Emma Clark. She just doesn't grab me the same way that Millie did as Rhaenyra. So anyway, figure fan for life. Do people like the coat on or prefer off? Nice accessory for her. I think I like it. Looks campy. I like that it comes with it. And again, this is probably where I want to see the movie a bit more because I don't know. I've got some views on, as I say, the trailer and what I've seen, and I'm kind of like, is she a bit more of a reluctant superhero? So I think I like having the option, but yeah, I feel like once I see the movie, it would dictate how I want to display her. But I do think it's cool that she does have the sop out look. And I think she does come with quite a few accessories. I think it's a very respectable amount of accessories. Oh, goodness. Noble Young is here. He's pooing but high-fiving on a toilet, and it's causing alarms. Red flag. Are you a red flag? You're very self-aware then. Hello, Noble Young. Raz 2010 will Millie Alcott looks stunning. I agree. I think she's beautiful. I've just been so taken aback by some of the comments that have been made by her about her appearance. And it just makes me laugh because I'm like, happened to Millie, happened to Brie Larson, happens to so many female characters. And I'm just like, show me a picture of you, person making this criticism. Show me the oil painting that you are. As I said, I cannot. Those people, I just don't need to be seeing their content. Trembledust says, if this Supergirl was the only one in my collection, I'd probably go without the coat. Oh, that's a good point. Anthony says, I definitely prefer rooted hair. I'll hold out on this one for now. Yeah, I definitely feel like InArt's going to give us the choice. There was a Barbie Supergirl with a midriff outfit. No one asked for it. And no one asked for it to be cancelled. I have no idea what this comment is about. J Hunter review. This one will have the coat and sunglasses on, and the InArt will have the cape on. Oh, that's an interesting thought. Get both. I have to think surely InArt would do the coat and everything as well. Her hair does look also pretty messy at times in the trailer, so it will be interesting to see what InArt does. Trembledust says, agree, the waist grabber makes 0 sense. Yep. I just don't know that I would also trust that kind of a display stand to have a figure in a flight pose. And I understand, Millie Alcock, not a tall person. I'm expecting this figure to probably be on the smaller size, like maybe similar to like a Yelena. But I still wouldn't want to be... even that, it's not that high in the air, but still, I don't think I'd be doing a flight pose either. I don't think I would. Moose says he poses his stuff without bases. He lives in a stable environment. If anything, I use blue tack or double-sided foam tape. Yeah, I don't like using blue tack. It can get a bit messy, but I just use display stands. I'm quite happy with that. Spectre says, so many other companies give both a crotch grabber and a waist clamp. It's insane the biggest 6-scale company can't do what cheap third-party companies do. Yeah, it's a great point, and they are super cheap. One of the things I've done when I've gone to Hong Kong is stock up on oval bases, and they are so cheap, and you have the option of waist grabber, crotch grabber. It would be nice. I kind of do swap them out between figures myself, but yeah, I hear you. But again, I wish it was a clear acrylic, and it's kind of confusing to me. There's no rhyme or reason as to when they do it and when they don't. Like the Joker street diorama having a clear stand. I don't understand why. Raz 20 Tenable says, I think Supergirl is going to cost $300 here in the US. What would that be in Australia? Because the exchange rate's actually slightly improved, which is amazing. So 420 Australian. So with pop culture markup, maybe 450. If this was 450 Australian, I'd be pretty happy with that. Because I can't think an InArt figure is going to be less than 700 Australian based on recent figures and figures like their Catwoman and the like. Oh, goodness, I've got a lot of comments to catch up on. Trembledust says, I'm one of those collectors, regardless of how the associated property does in the box office, ratings, etc. I would get the figure if it calls to me, i.e. Deadshot and Morbius. It's funny, I was talking to cousin Anthony earlier, and he said the exact same thing when I was like, I hope the movie's good. He was like, I don't care. I will get it if I like it. And I'm like, maybe I should do the same. S. Beam is here. Hello all. Hello to you, sir. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining us. We've got Chris Collectibles. I wish Hot Toys would update crypto. This has the same issue as the one that came with the David Corrin sweat and nitpick, the painted collar instead of being a separate piece. I mean, I didn't expect them to do a new crypto. And again, this is where I'm like, am I just too easy to please with some of these things? Like, I was happy she came with crypto. I totally expected they just did a crypto. They're going to wheel out the same thing. Just like the Baby Yodas. I'm pretty sure that's just reused a lot. So yeah, I'm not surprised. And yeah, I know it's not perfect looking. I don't know that I think the InArt one is that sensational by comparison. But yeah, as I said, for me, that was kind of expected. But I think the Supergirl figure looks amazing. So I'm very happy. Shades and Coat is straight up copy from Star-Lord. I mean, I know people like to think he's just redoing Guardians in DC, but I'm going to wait to watch the movie before I make judgments. Emma Darcy, thank you. I knew I was wrong with the name. Had Emma Clark in my name. Emma Darcy, thank you. That's who plays Aged Up Rhaenyra. Thank you. Tremble Dust with all the assists today. Look, let me give you a little bit of applause because that's 3 assists from you. Thank you, Tremble Dust. Appreciate you. Love a bit of audience interaction. I've got 60 people watching. Do I have 60 likes? I'd love it if I had 60 likes, please and thank you. If you're watching, drop your friend Helen a like. I'm streaming at 11:36 p.m. on a Friday. Keeping Fridays alive with the newsy news. Van Beanie, hello to you. I'm happy for the smaller base she comes with. I wasn't aware of how big and tall Soup's base and his flight height actually was. I wasn't, I think there's a typo in there. I wasn't aware grateful for having an adjustable display for him. I don't get that last bit, but it is big. Like, I have seen that in person. I think obviously the David Corrin sweat figure, I think, is maybe the Hot Toys one is maybe a little bit too big. And then you've got the display base, and he's obviously quite elevated. And this is the thing, is because I've always in the back of my head wanted this Supergirl, and part of me's been like, what do I display her with? Because I try not to just have ad hoc figures. And I don't have Spider-Man, Superman figures in my collection. So I wondered, do I get the David Corrin sweat Superman? But I feel like because Millie is so small, I'm like, oh, that's going to look a bit of a difference. I just think it's going to be I don't know. I just don't know that that's going to look good together. So hence I'm thinking maybe she'll go in the She-Ra shelf with my other female superheroes that I've collected over time. I'll put them all together in display. But yeah, as I said, I like the Hot Toys figure. I think even though they did slim down the body a bit, I still wonder if it's too big. Display Lab Collectibles, morning mates. It'll be morning in 22 minutes, but good morning to you. Tremble Dust says, I noticed dogs and hot toys don't go well. Einstein, Cosmo, Crypto, or cats. Goose says hi. That Goose through with Captain Marvel is definitely not their finest work. Goose has had a rough life. I'm still happy I got it though, but yeah, Goose looks a bit funky. Chris Collectible says, this Supergirl wearing the coat could probably look cool next to the InArt Reeve Clark Kent wearing the coat, sort of like an old and modern day take and display. Oh, interesting. That is an interesting idea. Van Beamy says she had a trench coat in that particular comic the story's based on. Yeah, as I said, like people seem to want to keep thinking Gunn is trying to make DC like the Guardians. And I'm like, he seems like such a comic nerd and into the stories that I'm like, is he? Is that what he's doing? I don't think so, but thank you for the factoid. I definitely appreciate it. Takes a bow, you're welcome at the assist. I appreciate a good assist. I'm a basketball fan. Van Vimy, sorry, I'm tired. I was happy for having an adjustable base. Oh, adjustable display shelf for him. He wouldn't have fit in my other characters. That's absolutely fine. I too am tired. It's 11:40 p.m. on Friday. Okay, look, it is handy if you can adjust the height of your shelves. I'm probably a bit lucky that a lot of my display cabinets have quite high shelves. But yeah, if you're rocking like a Detolf or a Bladen, things like that, it's a challenge. It's a challenge with some of these displays that they come out with. So it's that catch-22, like they're nice to have, but sometimes the space, right? Space is the enemy of every collector. It's certainly my enemy at the moment. That's another new name. David Ellis, don't like the Supergirl. Looks horrible. Now. I've just picked up Batman BVS 2.0 Wolverine Deluxe and Bane. I'm going to have to disagree with you. I really like the way this Supergirl looks. But you've picked up some nice figures this week, so that's something, right? Anthony says, I want to pair with Corin Sweat. Yeah, but you know what gets me, Anthony? The Hot Toys Corin Sweat I liked. I do think it's too big. The body. The InArt one, I feel like the body looks better. I don't like the expression they went with. I do like the expression Hot Toys used. So I've just been so, like, I don't even know if I was getting a Superman to go with her, which one am I getting? Like, I don't know. And I know the InArt one has not been released yet. I don't even know what the ETO is on that. But yeah, I feel very torn. And I just, as I said, Superman's not a, like, I've watched the movies. It's not like I don't love the character, but it's never been the character where I've been like, I need that representation in my collection. So I feel like if I was getting one, it would just be a companion piece for Supergirl. So I'm a bit on the fence as to if I would get a Superman to go with her. But as I said, I feel like there's going to be such a huge difference in the figure sizes if I get the Hot Toys versions. I really wish InArt had done a better expression. Trembled us forgot about Goose. Yeah, Goose is rough, man. Goose is seriously rough. But I'm as I say, I'm glad I have him for Carol. Well, hello. Display Lab Collectibles has become a 6-Scale Shiro YouTube channel member. That's my second new member for the evening. Display Lab Collectibles, thank you. Bit of applause. Thank you for supporting my channel. I've got to update my graphic next week. I've got 2 names to add. I've got Raymond and Display Lab Collectibles. So thank you kindly. Darth Vader Fortnite 2022. Now that's a username. Hello there. Well, hello to you. Were you watching last week when I had my Star Wars meltdown? Probably not, but welcome. I always find it funny when people with very Star Wars-centric usernames come to my channel because I'm like, are you aware Are you unaware? Also not interested in being trolled. Figure Fan for Life says, I have the Corin Sweat figure by Hot Toys, but want to see what InArt does with Supergirl. Not sure if they'd be a good pair or not. Well, and I mean, this will be interesting because, I mean, will there be a difference in the color of materials between the two? I think it will be interesting to see when InArt's releases because we will get the inevitable comparisons. So I will be keen to see the suit, the color of the suit, the body proportions. I definitely feel like Hot Toys did a much nicer display base. The InArt one was very forgettable. So yeah, I'm interested to see. But I feel like the InArt body felt like it was smaller. So I feel like that would scale better with this Millie figure. Benny's here. Hello, Benny. How many Supergirls will Helen buy? Look, Benny, I'm not sure. At one point, I was contemplating too to have both of these looks in my collection. As I said though, I'm pretty sure InArt's going to give us one as well. So I'm waiting to see what the InArt option is. But I feel confident that a Millie Alcock Supergirl is coming home. Not gonna lie. This photo makes me tempted to get two. Have to see the movie first. Figure Fan for Life says, InArt does amazing tailoring. The coat and cape could be elevated. They could be. They could well be. When are they going to announce theirs? I don't know. Hopefully soon. I will likely get Kara to pair with her cousin Cal. Whereas I'm the opposite. I'd potentially get Cal to go with his cousin Kara. We talked about what Supergirl comes with. Should we talk about the Punisher? I'm going to take a moment to talk about the Punisher special. If you have not seen the Punisher special, you might want to skip ahead. You might want to mute. I'll do a bit of a hand gesture when I'm done talking about the Punisher special. You might want to avoid the chat if you have not seen the Punisher special for this point in time, because I can't control what the chat says. They're people with free will. They say what they want to say. I'm starting my conversation about the Punisher special now. I will wave when I'm going to talk about the figure. I'm sorry. I did not love the Punisher special. I watched it and was like, what was the point of this? It was like not long enough to be a movie. It was kind of a TV episode. But I was just so like, where does this sit in the story? Because in my mind, I thought this was going to be a nice connecting piece of story from, I should stop using my hands because people are going to think I stopped talking, but I use my hands a lot when I talk. I thought this was going to connect the dots between where was Frank when we last saw him in Daredevil and where is he in the lead up to Spider-Man. But even just looking at the movie, I'm like, where are we in the sense of New York? Is Wilson Fisk still the mayor? Is he not the mayor? I don't know. He was crying for 20 minutes, then he was angry for 20 minutes. And for me, I just feel like I don't see the point of it. And I know some people really loved it. Like there's a lot of diehard Punisher fans. They loved it. And for me, all I could kind of wonder was this something that they did to give people the backstory of the Punisher who maybe didn't see the Netflix series back in the day, even though I'm pretty sure it's on Disney Plus. Maybe is this for people that don't have that knowledge of Frank Castle, who he is, what his backstory is, so they have that for the Spider-Man movie? Because I was like, what new thing did I get? And because the duration of the special was so short, all these side characters they tried to bring in, I just wasn't invested in. Like the Marine guy at the start. And also, why did we need the dog violence? I don't care for the dog violence. But the Marine guy at the start and then the family with the bakery, I'm like, I'm sorry. Like 44 minutes or whatever it is not enough time and story for me to get invested. And if I'm completely honest, the character I was most interested in was like Marnucci. Give me a bit more of her. What's her story? What's she up to? Is she in Spider-Man? Like, she was the most interesting part of the special for me. And maybe this is a hot take. Maybe I'm going to get flamed. And if it is, it's fine. This was my view. But as I said, I just didn't see the point. Like, we're re-going through his history and all this stuff. I'm like, all of that is covered in other things. So as I said, I was like, okay, is this more of a, we wanted to get John Bernthal back. This was the carrot we dangled. We're going to do a special. You can have a role in, was he a producer or something? Because I just got to the end of it. I was like, oh, okay. I just didn't feel like I had to watch that to then go see the Spider-Man movie. Whereas, as I said, I just figured there was going to be that connective piece of story that was going to be a nice lead into Spider-Man, give us a bit of something to explain Frank's absence, because we talk about Frank in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. We don't see him. I don't know. As I said, if I'm getting roasted in the comments, I don't know. That's fine. I don't know. And then other people were saying it was amazing. It was so brilliant. And I'm like, I just feel like we rehashed a lot of stuff from the past. And again, like, even from the way it looked, because if you think about Daredevil Born Again, you'll often see like the Fisk posters or the in season 2, the kind of Better New York or whatever the slogan was. Like, you just saw none of that. There wasn't even like a clip on TV to kind of contextualize, like, where are we in the timeline? Like, are we during the Fisk reign? Is it post the Fisk reign? What is going on? I don't know. Trembledor says, semi-hot take. Bernthal is a great actor, but think he could tone down his interpretation of Frank. The yelling, I'm like Bro Rayner in Punisher does not yell like that all the time. It was a lot. Like, parts of the special, the TV episode, whatever. Part of it was a lot for me. Like, when he was cutting the tattoo, I was like, oh my God, I can't look at this. I do like that they delved into his PTS. In my opinion, Ray Stevenson, RIP, has been the most comic accurate Punisher to date. The Punisher special was okay. I didn't think it was, oh my God, the fight scenes, though, great. Look, yeah, the action bit, but it just felt so like, we see the kid in the New York Knicks jersey. We see all these bit characters, and I'm like, I just don't care about any of these people because I've spent no time with them. As I say, I feel like he cried for 20 minutes and then he was on a rampage for 20 minutes. And I came away from that special going, will I see Marnucci again? She's an interesting lady. Chris Collectible says, the Punisher special wasn't entirely what I expected it to be, but I really enjoyed it. It shows a side of the character dealing with mental health issues and loss while also looking for purpose. Different username here. Hello, Adam H. I enjoyed the special, but feel like it was a trial run from Disney to see if Punisher is popular enough for a series film. Oh, definitely expected it to bridge Daredevil and Spider-Man, though. That's exactly what I was expecting. And I have to say, was I a little bit surprised at the level of violence given it's Disney? And I think a lot of people did have that concern that Disney's going to water it down. I think, the Netflix series, they were quite violent. They could be quite dark and gritty. Was Disney going to allow that? So it probably had a level of violence and darkness to it that I was like, okay, it's good that they're allowing that in a sense. But yeah, I feel like the way this was positioned, I definitely thought it was going to be connecting his story from Daredevil to Spider-Man. And I kind of feel like it's not a great thing to get to the end of it and feel like, well, I could have just not watched that. Personally, for me. Tremble Dust says Punisher's always been ultra violent, so the tats bit tracked for me. Love to see Judith Light in something again at Marnucci, and she catches it bad from the comics from Frank. I just want more Marnucci. I'm like, give me more of this. She was seriously my MVP of the show. Which says a lot, because what was she in it for 5 minutes? Anyway. Thank you for indulging me about the special. I'm going to take 2 seconds and then we're going to talk about the figure. I'm back. I hope you hit the like button while I was gone. So, we're going to talk about the figure now. So, if you didn't want to hear my views on the special, you don't have to. You can come back in. We're going to talk about the Punisher figure. Look, this is such a Hot Toys thing to do. We're just going to do it from a random 40-something minute special. Here's a Punisher figure. So, these 2 pictures are from Hot Toys. And look, I think the figure looks pretty good, personally. I can see here Ramstein fan. He's excited. This Punisher is fire. Can't wait for him to drop. And I think there will be people that are just big, diehard Punisher fans. So even if there is a different look in the future, I still think there's going to be a desire for some people to have this. So it will be interesting to see, will this be a standard release? Will this be something that's a bit more limited? I don't know, but I looked at this and I thought it looked really good. We didn't really get a sense of accessories. Is it going to come with more than what we've seen in the photos? Because I couldn't really see anything in any of the photos. Like with the Daredevil, you could see like the Charlie Cox head sculpt and things like that. But with this one, you couldn't really see any accessories. So I'm wondering if this is maybe something that's still a little bit in development. I'm not entirely sure, but these are the photos from Hot Toys. We get a nice look at the sculpt here. And then more photos from 6-scale Kawu. And I mean, for me, I'm looking at this figure feeling like there's quite a bit of detail in the suit. We've got a lot of the sort of magazines. We've got holsters. We've got a lot of fabric, which I'm hoping will mean this figure is quite posable. We can see a bit of a wrist peg, which I'm kind of expecting. I think it's probably something you can hide depending on how you pose it. I am going to assume it's going to come with a few more things than what we are seeing here. But as I say, you can see this picture in the middle. There is nothing displayed with it. It's coming with a pretty simple display base. It's got the Punisher logo. I personally think I would have probably liked if it just said Punisher, not One Last Kill, because it's just a 44-minute special. But for me, I feel like I look at this sculpt. I know who this is. I know exactly who this is. But I think I can understand, for some people, this may not be the look that they want for Punisher. So if that is the case, maybe wait to see what may come in the future. But I do think the outfit looks nice. I mean, there's nothing that stands out to me negatively as far as the body proportions. I don't study these things as much as other people. I know people got really upset about the Daredevil body proportions. But for me, I'm looking at this going, I think they've done a really nice job with this. He does have very high hair. I did actually look onto the pictures and he did have big hair. It looked a bit Jersey Shore to me to have such big hair, but he does have quite tall hair with him. So I will be interested to see what else it potentially comes with. Is he going to come? I was going to say something then, but that would have been a spoiler and I don't want to do a spoiler. So as I said, what else is he going to come with? We don't know at this stage. I know some people have wanted there to be interchangeable elements between this and future appearances. I absolutely don't think that's how Hot Toys is going to roll. I think those days of swap out outfits and multiple head sculpts are pretty limited. But I like it. And I think, are we going to get another one soon? Who knows? It's been a long time since they've made a Punisher figure. And it's interesting. I was talking to cousin Anthony about that, and he is a Punisher fan, and he was saying the fact that that first figure, like the first Daredevil from Netflix, like not perfect, but there's a lot of love for the character, and the figure has a lot of sentimental value. And I think for me, the Punisher and the Daredevil Netflix figures are not ones that I've generally seen in the secondary market. So I think they've not been easy to come by. So maybe there will be some people that are just, this is the Punisher I can get, this is the one that I want, because will they, won't they? They did the Mantis from the Christmas special, and I was so convinced they would then do one from Guardians 3, and joke's on me. So this is where I'm fortunate I live somewhere that has pretty long pre-order windows. I know people in Hong Kong don't have that same luxury because I think they only get a month to pre-order. But if you can wait for a little bit, then I would wait for a little bit to see and make sure you get the one that you want. Tremble Dust says, the figure doesn't blow me away. I like the bearded Frank, but this isn't catching me. If he had the bandage over his eye like one of his other versions, maybe might get a comic version. I mean, if they've got the outfit, I wonder if they would do. They've been producing a few things through the comic line. I wonder if they've got the outfit, if that's something they might consider. That would be, they like to recycle, as we saw with those bases. They like to recycle, so maybe. Mitchell Lawrence is here. Hello, the Punisher looks cool. Masters of the Universe looks cool. Both Alien Warriors are work in progress prototypes, but it's cool that we're getting them. There's more to come from the Aliens line with Ripley and co. Yeah, I think we're all waiting for Ripley, and I think that's probably something we're a little bit disappointed with, in that we haven't seen Ripley. Like, I think a lot of us thought Hong Kong Comic-Con and Hot Toys making quite a big deal about it being their first appearance there, that we would see more new figures for the first time. Like this Punisher being the only new figure we hadn't previously seen really surprised me. Now, I know the event goes for a few days. Are they likely to drop something new during the event? I don't know that they are, because I don't feel like they have done that in the past when they've gone to Wonderfest or ACGHK, which is the big con they've typically gone to. I feel like whatever they've had on day one, that's been it. There's not been, and on day 2 we've wheeled out this, and on day 3 it's that. I feel like this is what we're getting. So whether it's a case of ACGHK will have more reveals than Hong Kong Comic-Con, maybe. Like, I'm not sure. Is Hong Kong Comic-Con as big of an event as ACGHK? This is probably something I should have asked someone in Hong Kong before I jumped on a stream, but it only just popped into my head. So maybe ACGHK is a bigger con, and that's where they, hold off most of their reveals for. I feel like that is typically, it's the Hong Kong summer. I feel like that's the con where we get a lot of new things from Hot Toys. And I guess if you think of it in that traditional sense, you then would have the San Diego Comic-Con, so the timing kind of works. You can have stuff at one and then the other. I don't know. Sterling's Fine Art says, I'm definitely getting the Punisher. Looks good to me. I think it looks cool. Trembledore says, I don't mind the stand saying one last kill, because I'm pretty sure we'll see more versions of Punisher in the future. Yeah, I have to think we are too. Mark is here. Hey, Helen and fellow collectors. Hello to you, Mark. I hope you're doing well. It's Saturday for me. What a treat. Good morning to me. Mark says, Punisher looks great. My concern will be, different version in the future coming out. And that's what I was saying. I feel like because it's been so long since we had the Netflix Punisher figure. My goodness, I'm losing my words because it's Saturday morning now. And that's a figure that hasn't come up a lot in the secondary market. I feel like there's a lot of people that want a Punisher. I don't know if this is the Punisher they want. So this is one of those cases where I would encourage people to exercise some caution and some patience if this is not the one they want. Akira says, the skull vest looks really nice, but I think the sculpt and likeness looks kind of third party. Not that strong, but can tell who it is. Oh, really? I do. I like the sculpt, but I feel like the beard is maybe a little bit soft. And this is where I don't know if it's convention lighting or that is how it is. Because if you look at the picture on the right side on, because you can see in the reflection, they have these like spotlights. Like Hot Toys doesn't light things well. Like I've been to all of their stores and the lighting is not amazing. And I think these conventions are no better. So this is where I'm guessing this will eventually be in Secret Base. We'll get some better quality footage of it. I do think a lot of the Hong Kong content creators take their own lights to Secret Base because they get those figures looking pretty good. So yeah, I do feel like maybe the side of the beard is a bit soft, but then the beard was quite big and bushy in times, and I think that's a bit hard to sculpt. So, but the hair and the rest of the sculpt, I quite like. I quite like. These photos just have a little bit more detail of the outfit from 6-scale Kawu, so we can see the big machine gun that comes with him. He's got a pistol clipped to his belt. As I say, we can see a whole bunch of magazines clipped around the vest. He's also got this axe, which I do wonder, is that a similar axe to what came with Kane? I feel like Hot Toys has had a couple of axes lately. I think, you know, being a cloth outfit, hopefully it's posable. But as I said, I think it looks nice. And the fact we're getting a Punisher from the special, I see as being a bit of a win, personally. Sterling's Fine Art, sounding a bit like Bobby Dylan. Buy this and get a custom head sculpt. That is totally what Bob Dylan would tell you to do. Ace says, won't be surprised if they recycle this figure and just give him additional accessories. Well, I mean, we don't even really see... Are there more accessories than what we're seeing as far as these weapons? Like, there are a couple of things that jump into my head that I don't want to sort of say in case they're deemed spoilerish. But I do have to think there's another one coming soon. Hot Toys Collector. Hello. Hot Toys like to do beard always softer than more beard. Yeah, it definitely feels like what they've done here. As I said, I will be keen to see when it gets to Secret Base some footage there. But I think as well, because of his hairstyle, where it is kind of, would you call it a fade, where it's quite shaved down the side and then the beard's there, like maybe it kind of makes it stand out a bit more. I don't know, but as I said, for me, I'm like, amazing that we're getting this from this special. Lord knows there's been other specials Disney Plus series that have got all of Zero. So I see this as a total win. Oh, the special was awesome. You must have missed my bit earlier. But welcome. I shouldn't have said that because I said I wouldn't have spoilers. So Hot Toys at Hong Kong Comic Con, as I said, wasn't what I was expecting. I thought we would see more new things we hadn't previously seen. And I am a bit surprised that they announced the Supergirl and the Masters of the Universe figures during the week. I think I was expecting them to want to make a bit more of a splash at the event. And I think if they had those figures and this Punisher to show 5 new figures for the first time, with the features that they had with the Master of the Universe figures, the seamless body elements, not fully seamless body, but seamless looking, and then the leather components of Lobo and Supergirl, I think they were big ticks in the box. So I kind of, having those teasers, I get, but then doing those full announcements before the cons, particularly because the figures are at the cons. I can't imagine the figures were at Secret Base at any point in time. And normally when they make an announcement, you get people wanting to go to Secret Base to take photos to see the figures. So it's a bit of an interesting move. I'm kind of, yeah, given the way they hyped up, this was the first time they were at Hong Kong Comic Con. I'm a bit surprised they didn't want to reveal more things for the first time at the event. Oh, Sterling's Fine Art says, Lobo and Supergirl up for pre-order on Sideshow now. Oh, interesting. Are there prices handy? Going to be a bit cheeky and ask if the prices are handy. While I do that, again, 6-scale Kawu, Hong Kong content creator. That's where all of the non-Hot Toys official photos are from. If you're not following him, he's on YouTube, he's on Instagram, does some really great content. I popped the link to his Instagram profile down in the description of the stream. If you want to go check him out and give him a follow. He's a cool dude. I've messaged him a couple of times with questions and whatnot. And unlike a lot of people, gets back to you. Sometimes some collectors don't get back to you, so I always appreciate the people who do. Oh, interesting. Supergirl is $285 US. Okay. Because I think we had a prediction earlier of 300. 285 is 397 US. Maybe I'll get lucky and she'll come in at 450. If she came in at 450 Australian, that would be amazing. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And I thought we'd look at quickly what's in the pipeline. Jurgen Schultz does these updates in all of the groups. Really appreciate the effort he puts into breaking down how long it's been between things have been announced and released and what's coming up. And boy, if it's not just a whole bunch of Star Wars goodness, what a treat, what a treat. But the thing that does stand out from me of this image is that Harley Quinn figure. As I mentioned earlier, that was something that was scheduled for Q3, Q4 2025. We still haven't seen it. You know, we're heading into June, so 5 months delayed. A lot of these other figures were slated in as Q1 to Q2 release. So a lot of these other figures are still, I mean, they're not late yet, but if we think about it, do we think all of these things are going to release between now and 30 June? Probably not. So it will be interesting to see what we get. We've got what I'm guessing will be the last Hono release ever with that Spider-Man. We've got an Anakin, because Anakin all the time. We've got Pilates Darth Vader. What a treat. Everybody wants a bit of Pilates Darth Vader. Artisan Winter Soldier. It's one I've been waiting for a long time. I had hoped we were going to get him around Chinese New Year, but obviously we didn't. So, yeah, there's probably that series at the top row, Artisan Winter Soldier, the Mr. Freeze Deluxe, and the Scarecrow. They're definitely 3 that are coming home to me. I do have Yelena on pre-order, but I still feel like a bit unsure if I'll go through with that. I really had hoped we'd get other members of the Thunderbolts, but we all know how that turned out. So I'm a bit in two minds as to whether I go through with that figure or not, because I don't just want a random standalone Yelena figure. But there's quite a few things in here. We've also got the Age of the Apocalypse Wolverine, another Artisan figure. And a lot of Star Wars, my goodness. A couple of things from Predator, which is nice. But a whole lot of Star Wars. Mr. Knight will be interesting to see when that comes out. But yeah, this is what, with the exception of Harley Quinn, is in that Q1 to Q2 release window. So now that May the 4th is behind us, now that we've had Hong Kong Comic-Con, hopefully we get into a bit of a regular rhythm with the releases, because it's been a bit all over the shop, hasn't it? Big Ruby's here. Hi, Helen. You make my Friday mornings better. Thank you. That's incredibly kind. It's now Saturday morning for me. What a treat. I probably will be wrapping up soon, though. I'm sorry. It is after midnight, and I've been talking for 2 hours, which I always go into these thinking, 90 minutes, and that never happens. Tremble Dust is heading off. Stay safe and have a great weekend. You too. Thank you for the assist again, Tremble Dust. I appreciate it. Thanks for the stream as always. You're welcome. We're keeping Fridays alive. Akira says, eagerly awaiting for Scarecrow and Predator from that list. I cancelled the Artisan Harley Quinn and got my NRD back from Sideshow because of the delay. Oh, really? You cancelled? I am really interested to see that Harley Quinn. I was quite disappointed that that was an Artisan-only release. This was the look I wanted from Harley Quinn for the longest time. I wanted that more comic black and red jumpsuit look. I've wanted a Margot Robbie Harley Quinn for a while. I've not loved any of the previous ones they did. I couldn't bring myself to pre-order this. I don't know. The sculpt wasn't there for me. So I am keen to see what the final version looks like. Is there any reworking or not? But I mean, if you've changed your mind on it, the delay is obviously useful because Sideshow does let you get a refund on the NRD if it's delayed beyond the estimated date, which I think it's good that they do. Like in Australia, I'm quite lucky. Pop Culture, if it's still up for pre-order, they will let you move your deposit onto another figure. So as I mentioned, I'm feeling a bit on the fence with Yelena. If I do decide to cancel that, I can just contact Pop Culture and say, hey, I want to cancel this and just nominate another pre-order that I want them to put my deposit on. So kind of lucky that you can just shift the pre-order money around. You don't lose it with them. They're typically pretty good about stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's not a Star Wars Palooza in June as well. That's the end of the newsy news. It's me again. Hello. I look very tired. Shuri's no doubt gone to bed after her little hurricane at the start of the stream because she's a smart cookie. But anyway, guys, thank you for coming to hang out. If you're one of my regulars watching on the replay, let me know what you think about Hong Kong Comic Con. Do you have similar feelings to me? What figures are you excited about? Master of the Universe, Supergirl, The Punisher. What did you think about the Punisher special? Let me know. I'll be back same time next Friday to talk about who knows what. Maybe InArt will do something. Maybe if it's a slow news week, I'll watch the JazzInc stream and I can just revisit that. I hope I don't have to do that. I hope Howard keeps me updated with some news so I don't have to do that. I don't know that I want to watch another render reveal stream, but we'll see what the week brings us. Figure Fan for Life, another great stream. Thanks. You're welcome. Hope you have a great day. Akira says, have a great weekend. All you too. Ramstein fan, awesome stream, Helen. Thank you. You're welcome. Guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you. I will see you same time, same place next week. See you later.